Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. When I left you in the last video, we were edging all the feathers and trying to get them white on just the edges and not really bright. The bright portion was right in here on that first, the feathers just off the mantle. It was just these in here. And then the rest of them were basically on the very edge. And we're not making them really bold so you get to see it. Now, I know I did the one side, and I asked you to do the other side. So that's where we left you the last time. So you should have something that looks like this, and I hope you can see this well. And what we're going to do is proceed on with additional washes on here to tone some of this down and then also move on. So I'm going to try to cover another segment of what we need to do here, and then probably on the next video we'll address the breast. But let me just at least get you going on the top works here, and we'll get that out of the way, and then we'll move on. And like I said, I'm trying to give it to you in pieces and not the whole thing, so that you got to have some patience. And I know, as I said before, I used a real thin pointed brush, and I don't know if you can see this or not. This is like a number 3, but it really holds its shape. And if you have something like this, it's almost like a real fine lead pencil. And you can, once you got to steady yourself. And sometimes you want to put maybe the piece on the table with your hand down there so that's steady. And then you can move in on it. And instead of just holding it up here, because you're doing this. So that action gets a little crazy. And you really have to be steady. I usually try to get my finger on here when I'm doing this. And I know some of us don't have that steady hand. Like, I'm starting to see that myself. And, but I showed you how you can wet another brush, put it right over that white that you did that may have messed up, and then get a paper towel, dry it real fast, just hit it, and it picks it up. And then you can go back and redo it. So that's ways of accomplishing this edging. And the edging gets a little tricky. It really does. You need a steady hand. And like I said, another way to do it is to put it on the table where you have your hand down on the table and you're holding a piece. And then you want to get your finger onto here. You can't do it like freelanced where it's out by itself. So you really have to get down in there, and I always put my pinky or some of my fingers on the piece as I'm doing it, because it acts as one, and then you could gauge exactly how you put that on there. So not trying to drive you nuts on the detailing, but some of you have the ability to do it, and some of you are having a harder time. So I can appreciate that. And so let me just bring the camera down, and I'm going to show you a couple of mixes I've made in the meantime, and then we'll proceed on. We're only going to do some fast washes over this to tone all of this down now, okay? And we'll also do some head work here, and I think we'll do a little bit in the breast too. So bear with me, and I'll bring it down in a second. Thank you. Okay, I hope everybody's back, and I'm got you sort of signed in here so that you could see everything well. I'm trying to make sure that we're in the same ballpark here. Now, just to let you know, in my cup of paint, I still had the white. I still have, and this is stuff that was left over. Remember, I told you I usually put some like saran wrap over it to try to hold that. And this held for several days as long as I put a couple of drops in there. So it's not like you got to throw the paint away and start over again. So this is our raw lumber. This is our white. I got the red, and this is crimson is what it is, but it doesn't have to be that. If you have red in your arsenal, that's great. This here is burnt sienna, and that should be another color you should have in your arsenal. That usually comes with a set of paints if you get it. So burnt sienna is what that is. Now, I put very little in here. I wouldn't even say it was a BB size. It was about half of a BB, and then about a half a cup of water in this. And I mean this cup right here, not a regular cup. And the same way here, the red, I put very little in that, and then added some water, okay? And these guys have been just hanging in here from before. I put like a drop of water in both of those, and we reuse it again. And I've done some of the edging here that I've done after I got done talking to you guys. And this has been several days ago, so I'm sorry I'm not getting the videos out as fast as I used to because of the holidays. I've been kind of shuffling around, and I'm finally getting back to doing this again. So I'm going to do some washes. And the first thing I want to do is try to come in here and wash this all down. So I'm going to get like a medium-sized brush or something like that. Let's see. I usually get a larger brush, something like this here. And I'm going to come in, stir your paint always, because you never know if that's totally dissolved in there. So, and this is a wash now, so I have more water than paint. And if I put this on my towel, it's not like it's really colorful. If I put it down here, well, I picked up some of the paint that didn't dissolve, and you can see that. But see how it's just a wash, and it's very light. It's not like you're putting color, you know, like you're painting a green porch, I say. You don't want to do that. Yeah, it's very, washes I'm putting on now are going to go right in this area here of the mantle into the brown section that we have here. And I'm coming across here, and I'm trying to just do this. This is almost like almost a one-time deal. I'm trying to go over everything that's brown that has the white highlights, and it just tones it down just a little bit. And I'm trying to do that. I'll do that in the tail. I'll do the whole tail. I hope you can see this. And then I'm going to turn this around so I have this side that I can get to. And it's not runny. You don't want to run it. If you notice, I'm putting on a real light coat. And even though it's wet, it's not runny. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going over all of what would be sort of like the brown, either the dark or the light, over the white into the tail. Okay, right on down into there. And what it does, it gives a little bit of red highlight. At the same time, it tones down all of the, what's the name? The white we may have had that seems brighter. It dulls it. And just to the point of making it pretty close to the way the bird should look. At least we're trying to. So I'm going to pick up my hair dryer right now and turn this thing on. So bear with me so I can get all of this dry so I can handle the head side, because that's the next thing I want to do. So I'm coming in here, and because it's a wash that's really thin, this should dry pretty fast, and I should be able to handle this without messing anything up, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I only want you to do one wash, that's all. Don't do any more than that. And that just tones that down just to give a little bit of reddish highlights in there. And it's so faint, but that will give us the look we're looking for. Now, I'm going to rinse my brush out again. Come over here. And on the head, I want to come back in, and I'm going to get some of the, again, this is crimson, but it could be any red, okay? And then add just, not even a BB size, just a little bit. Add about almost a third of a cup of water. And you can see when I come out, red tends to come on strong, at least the crimson does anyway. So I'm going back and I just want to highlight some things. I noticed some things all the way up front here that I forgot to hit. So I'm going to come back in there, and I don't want to go onto the beak neither because we were prepping the beak a little bit before. So I'm trying to stay off of the beak. I don't know if you can see this because we have like an orange looking front, but you're coming back and we're highlighting this with the red. And it's, again, a wash, so it's not like you're painting a porch. You're seeing some of the red, but you're not, it's not coming on so strong, okay? It gives you a little bit more of the red highlights, okay? And that's what I'm gonna do down in here too. I'm gonna come in here, right in here. I wanna go up close to the beak, but not on the beak. And then I'm gonna come down, but I'm not gonna come all the way down. I'm coming about 2/3 of the way down and leaving this sort of fade out back here. And I'm gonna get a little more water in here. So I wanna just water that down even more so that the closer I get to where our edge is here, I wanna sort of slow down here. So I'm just highlighting this again, one more time, with the red, but it's a wash. It's really watered down. And I'm just gonna, because this is like watered down, I'm just gonna come in here and just touch that back a little bit, okay? To make a nice transition. Now, I'm gonna dry this again in this area because I wanna do something on the top of the head before we leave go here. So I'm going to dry all this. I'm going to dry this. And it shouldn't take that long because we put very little on and it's not heavy. It's just like you're just wiping down a counter where you don't have a lot of water. You just have a wet rag. It's almost like that. And you're just getting the dampness off in a sense, okay? So that's good enough. Now what I'm going to do, believe it or not, after I put some highlights, this bird has sort of like a brown cap. Not distinctive, but I'm going to come in here. In fact, let me come over in this tray. I'm going to water this down, or at least this is a little on the heavy side because it's been sitting for a while. And I hope you could see this. You could see how the strength of that on a paper towel, it fades out. That's what I want to try to do. I'm going to try to get some of this, and right in here, I'm not going too far forward, and I don't want it runny neither. I just want to put a brown cap in there. Maybe I will get just a hint of stronger color. And just see if just right in there like that. Maybe just like that. And I hope you can see that. And it's just on the top here, right in here. So you have the red highlights, and now you got a little bit of brown, just a little brown. It's almost, looks red, you know. It's not like you're coming like gangbusters with the brown. You don't. It's just makes the red look a little darker, right in that one spot. And I'm not coming up into the front of the head. It's about from the eye back, okay? A little bit, right in that area. And then I'm going to ask you to dry that, okay? And then what we'll do on the next video, we'll go into the breast and I'll show you how to do the whole breast area down to the rump, okay? So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, you'd help me out greatly there too. And I'll see you on the next video, and we'll be working the breast, okay? So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next video.